The deep space colony ship Aurora had been traveling for 14 years through the silent dark. It was a massive vessel, carrying over 200 people, scientists, engineers, children, and families, all heading home to Earth. Captain Mara. Vance stood at the viewing deck, staring at the tiny blue dot on the screen. That was Earth. Their journey was almost over. People whispered in the corridors about walking on real ground again, smelling rain and feeling wind on their faces. Then, at 2:17 ship time, the signal came. It was faint, at first a crackle of static, then a voice, broken, strained. ... Do not ... come ... home. The transmission stuttered, faded, then came back stronger. Earth is burning. Do not. The voice was cut off. The crew froze in the control room. Technician Alara Lin quickly began running the signal through the decryption filters. Computer processed the audio in a scrambled data packet. Seconds. Later, a shaky satellite feed appeared on the main screen. The image was horrifying. Thick black clouds covered entire continents. Huge swirls of smoke rose from the oceans. Lightning flickered inside the storms like veins of fire. Whole cities, once glowing clusters of light, were dark. Gasps filled the room. "That's impossible," whispered First Officer Yolan Reed. "This has to be fake." Captain Mara clenched her jaw. "Replay it." They did. It's the same broken voice, the same choking words, the same image of a dying planet. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The hum of the ship's life support system was the only sound. Finally, Navigation Officer Kane spoke. "If that's true, if Earth really is like that, we should turn back. We can head to Kepler 9 to B. It's habitable enough, safer, and abandon Earth." Lara snapped. "That's our home." "Maybe not anymore," Kane replied coldly. The argument grew louder. Some crew members wanted to turn back immediately. Others refused to believe the signal. They demanded proof that it wasn't a trap or an old transmission from some past disaster. Captain Mara raised her voice over the noise. "Enough. We keep going, till we have undeniable proof. Earth is still our destination." There was silence, but it wasn't agreement. It was fear. Later, in her private quarters, Mara played the message again. She studied the image of the black clouds, the strange lightning. There was something unnatural about it. It's not like a normal storm. She noticed faint geometric shapes in the cloud patterns, too regular to be nature's work. Her thoughts were interrupted by a call from engineering. "Captain," said Chief Engineer Thorne, his voice tense, "we've had a sudden coolant leak in the reactor chamber. I don't know how it happened. Can you fix it?" "Yes, but it'll take hours. And Captain, it doesn't look like wear and tear. It looks deliberate sabotage." The word burned in Mara's mind. She ordered security to quietly sweep the ship for more damage. If someone was trying to force her to turn back, they were willing to endanger everyone on board to do it. Morning. 3 more strange malfunctions had occurred: an airlock sensor failure, a corrupted navigation file, and a sealed supply cabinet found forced open. This time the damage was subtle, almost careful. Whoever was behind it was smart. The crew's mood grew darker. Rumors spread through the ship. Some said the signal was real and that someone on board was trying to save them by stopping the journey. Others believed it was a conspiracy, that the captain was hiding the truth about Earth. In the mess hall, people argued in hushed tones. "We shouldn't risk our lives for a dead planet. You don't know it's dead. What if it's war? What if someone attacked Earth?" Mara knew that fear was the most dangerous thing in space. It spread faster than fire, and there was no escape from it on a ship. That night, she stood on the bridge, watching the stars pass. Yolan approached quietly. "You think it's sabotage?" he said. "I know it is," Mara replied. "But I don't know why. And I don't know who." Yolan looked uneasy. "The signal is real. Someone might believe they're saving us." "Sabotage doesn't save lives," Mara said sharply. "It kills." Before Yolan could respond, the ship's alarm blared. Lights flashed across the bridge. "Multiple system errors," Alara shouted from her station. We're losing stabilizers on Deck 5. Mara ran to the console. Lockdown engineering. Get a security team there now. Through the intercom, Chief Thorne's voice shouted over the noise of machinery. Captain, someone's down here. They're trying to override the reactor controls. The transmission cut off. Mara's pulse pounded. She turned to Yolan. We're not dealing with a frightened crew member anymore. This is an attack. Somewhere on the ship, in the narrow, dim-lit maintenance corridors, the saboteur moved quickly, blending into the shadows. They knew the Aurora's systems. They knew how to cause damage without leaving a trace, and they had no intention of letting the ship reach Earth. On the bridge, the captain gave the order no one wanted to hear. Seal all decks. Full lockdown. Find them. The crew scrambled, sealing hatches, checking ID scans, searching compartments. But the Aurora was vast, and the attacker was already 3 steps ahead. Hours later, they found Thorne unconscious. In engineering, he was alive, but shaken. I saw them, he whispered weakly. They were wearing a maintenance suit, face covered, but they moved like they belonged here. Mara's thoughts spun. That meant the saboteur wasn't an outsider. They were one of her own crew, and as she stood on the bridge staring at the image of a burning Earth frozen on the main screen, she realized something terrifying. If the saboteur's goal was to stop them from reaching home, then maybe the signal wasn't a warning at all. Maybe it was bait. The hunt begins. The ship Aurora was tense. After the sabotage and engineering, the crew knew they had a dangerous enemy on board, someone who wanted to stop their journey home, no matter the cost. Captain Mara Vance called an emergency meeting in the command center. Only trusted officers were invited.
Oh.
The room was small, but filled with worried faces. We have a saboteur, Mara said. Someone who knows the ship well. Someone who doesn't want us to reach Earth. First Officer Yalan Reed frowned, but why? What could make someone betray the whole crew? Mara shook her head. What we need to find out. The ship was put on full lockdown. Every corridor had security guards patrolling. Passengers were told to stay in their quarters until the saboteur was caught. Meanwhile, Mara and Yalan began to review the ship's security footage. But strangely, the cameras in the affected areas had been wiped clean, erased with no trace. Someone is good at hiding their tracks, Yalan said, frustration clear in his voice. At night, Mara stood alone in the observation deck, staring out into the stars. The vast emptiness of space suddenly felt colder.
Ow.
She wondered how long the saboteur had been planning this. How long before more damage would come? Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared again. This time, the emergency lights flashed red. Fire reported on Deck 9. Ilara Lin shouted from communications. Mara rushed to the scene with security teams. They found a small fire near the food storage units. It looked like someone had started it intentionally, trying to cut off supplies. While firefighters worked to put out the flames, Mara noticed something else. A strange symbol marked in smoke on the wall. She called Yalan over. Do you recognize this? Studied it closely. No, but it looks like a warning, like a signature. Back in the command center, Mara ordered a ship-wide search for anything unusual. The crew felt fear growing stronger. Whispers spread through the halls. Who can we trust? One of the engineers, a young woman named Leela, came forward. She said she had seen someone moving near the reactor control room late at night. Someone wearing the maintenance suit Thorne described. Amara sent a security team to investigate immediately. They found footprints and a torn piece of fabric, but no suspect. Days passed, and the attacks continued. Minor system failures, food supplies tampered with, and strange messages left on walls in hidden parts of the ship. Meanwhile, the crew debated the mysterious signal from Earth. Some believed it was. Real Earth was dying, and the journey was hopeless. Others insisted it was a trick, a message sent by an unknown enemy to scare them off. Mara held her ground. We can't turn back. Earth is still our home, and we will find the truth ourselves. But inside, she was not sure if they were heading toward hope or disaster. One night, while reviewing navigation logs, Mara found a hidden file, a set of coordinates, and a strange warning. Do not approach. She shared it with Yolan. These coordinates lead to the edge of a black nebula near Earth's orbit. Could this be related to the signal? Yolan nodded slowly. We need to find out what's there. It might explain everything. Aurora adjusted its course toward the mysterious coordinates. Mara wondered if they were walking into a trap. And somewhere in the shadows of the ship, the saboteurs smiled. Their plan was working perfectly. The Aurora changed course toward the strange coordinates hidden deep in the ship's logs. The crew was restless. Questions hung heavy in the air. What waited for them near the black nebula at Earth's doorstep? Captain Mara Vance stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the star map. The nebula looked like a dark curtain, hiding something inside. We don't know what we will find, Mara said quietly, but we have to face it. Sensors scanned the area as the ship approached. First, nothing but silence and empty space greeted them. Then, the instruments detected faint energy readings, old but powerful. Suddenly, a strange ship appeared on the scanners. It was ancient, damaged, and unlike anything the Aurora crew had seen before. Unknown vessel detected, said navigation. Officer Kane. No life signs, but the technology. It's not human. Mara ordered the ship closer for a better look. The mysterious craft was covered in symbols and scars from battle. Its hull seemed to pulse with faint blue light. As the Aurora moved nearer, the strange ship sent out a weak signal, a repeating pattern of sounds that made the crew uneasy. Ilara Lynn worked quickly to decode it. It's a message. A warning, the message said. Turn back. This place is cursed. The end is near. The crew exchanged worried looks. The black nebula was more dangerous than they thought. Suddenly, the Aurora's power flickered. The lights dimmed, and the ship shuddered. Sabotage, shouted Yolan Reed. They're here. Security teams rushed to the control rooms. Saboteur was attacking again, trying to stop the ship from moving forward. Mara clenched her fists. They want us to fail. But we will. Not. The Aurora broke free from the flicker and pushed deeper into the nebula. Inside, the stars disappeared, swallowed by darkness. The ship's sensors were less effective. Strange noises echoed through the halls, mechanical whispers and distant crashes. The crew felt trapped in a nightmare. In the quiet moments, Mara studied the old alien ship again. Sudden thought struck her. What if this ship was connected to the mysterious signal from Earth? She called Ilara and Kane to the bridge. Need to search the alien ship. There may be answers inside. Small team prepared to board the ancient vessel. They wore protective suits and carried weapons ready for anything. As they crossed, the airlock, Mara's heart pounded. The inside was dark and cold. Walls were cracked and covered in strange markings. Suddenly, they found something unexpected. A glowing orb hovering above a pedestal. Ilara reached out carefully and touched it. Instantly, a vision flooded her mind. Images of a great war, a planet on fire, and humans fighting alongside strange allies against an unseen enemy. She gasped. This changes everything. Back on the Aurora, the crew waited anxiously. Mara knew the real battle was just beginning, not against the saboteur, but against the unknown forces threatening Earth. And as the ancient ship's secrets slowly revealed themselves, one truth became clear. Humanity's second chance was not just about survival, it was about a destiny no one expected. Secrets revealed back on the Aurora. Ilara and the boarding team returned with the glowing orb. The strange device pulsed softly, casting blue light across the walls of the command center. Captain Mara Vance studied the orb carefully. What did you see? She asked. Ilara took a deep breath. It showed me a battle, humans and alien allies fighting against a dark enemy. Earth was almost destroyed in that war. The signal we received. It's a warning from the past. The room was silent. Yolan Reed broke the silence. So Earth really is in danger. But why hide this? Why cover up the truth? Mara shook her head. Maybe someone wanted to protect us. Or maybe they wanted to control the story. Suddenly, the ship's intercom crackled. Security reported another sabotage, this time in the communications room. Mara's frustration grew. They are desperate to stop us from reaching Earth. Ilara connected the orb to the ship's system, images and sounds from the device. began streaming across the main screen. The crew watched as ancient battles played out in holographic form. Planets burned, fleets crashed, and strange creatures attacked. "This is more than a warning," Alara said. "It's a record, history, of what happened and a plea for help." Amara's voice was firm. "Then we have to finish this journey. We owe it to Earth and everyone waiting for us." But the sabotage continued. Systems failed, and tensions among the crew rose. Some wanted to turn back, fearing the danger was too great. One night, Mara was called to the medical bay. A crew member was unconscious, injured by unknown means. The medical officer whispered, "We think someone is trying to stop this mission from inside." Mara's heart sank. The saboteur was no longer just a threat to the ship. They were a threat to humanity's future. Dost. With new resolve, Mara gathered her trusted officers. "We need to find the saboteur and stop them. For Earth, for all of us." The Aurora pushed forward, deeper into the unknown. The secrets of the past were coming to light, but the cost of knowledge was still unknown. And as the ship moved closer to Earth, the biggest challenge waited, facing the truth that no one had dared to speak. The Aurora moved closer to Earth's orbit. The mysterious black clouds covered the planet below like a dark blanket. Captain Mara Vance stood on the bridge, watching the planet she once called home. The glowing orb still pulsed quietly beside her, a reminder of the secret they had uncovered. Alara Lynn worked with the ship's AI to decode more images from the orb. Suddenly, a clear message appeared on the screen. "The enemy returns. Prepare or perish." Yalan Reed frowned. "Who is this enemy? And why has Earth been hiding from us?" Mara's voice was steady but urgent. "We are about to find out." The crew prepared for what might be the final battle. Security teams armed themselves. The ship's weapons systems came online. But even as they readied for war, Mara wondered about the saboteur. Who on board wanted to stop them? And why? Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. The saboteur struck again, this time in the engine room. Power dropped sharply. Mara ordered an immediate lockdown. The crew was searched, and everyone's movements were monitored. In the chaos, the saboteur made a mistake. A vital piece of equipment was found hidden in a cargo hold. It was a device designed to disable the ship's engines permanently. With evidence in hand, Mara confronted the crew. "Someone here wants us to fail, but I promise we will not let them win." Days passed. The Aurora entered Earth's orbit, passing through the thick black clouds. On the planet below, fires raged. Cities lay in ruins, but signs of life remained. Suddenly, a fleet of unknown ships appeared, blocking the Aurora's path. "They're here," Yalan said grimly. "The enemy we feared?" "Us." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Prepare to fight." As the battle began, the truth of Earth's secret became clear. This was not just a fight for survival, it was a fight for the future of humanity itself. The final stand, the Aurora shook violently as enemy ships fired energy blasts. Captain Mara Vance gripped the command chair tightly, her eyes sharp and focused. "This is it," she said. "For Earth, for humanity, we fight." The crew worked together, their fear replaced by determination. Weapons roared to life, shields flared against the onslaught. Below, the ruined Earth watched silently as its defenders battled in space. Suddenly, the saboteur was revealed. One of the engineers, desperate and scared, believed humanity's destruction was inevitable and wanted to stop the mission. Mara confronted them calmly, but firmly. "Your fear nearly destroyed us all, but we are stronger than that." With the saboteur detained, the crew united. Aurora unleashed a powerful counterattack, breaking through the enemy fleet. Final moments, the glowing orb activated fully, projecting a brilliant wave of energy that disabled the enemy ships. Silence followed. Mara stared at the peaceful Earth below, now slowly healing. "We survived," she whispered. "We have a second chance." The journey was over, but humanity's true story, their resilience, courage, and hope, was only beginning.